to show you how I made the heel. I'm using a bigger sole, and the reason for that is easier to see on the video. This was the original sole I used for the witch's boots, and this is the sole I'm using in the video. So you can use any sole you want. You're basically going to divide it into something like this. So here's your two soles, and you want to make your top half for the top part of your sole to be this, okay? So then the back part of your sole is going to look like this one right here. So you just take your cardboard sole, any kind of cardboard, and that's how you're going to end up with your two pieces. So you can just do it right on your sole, on your cardboard if you want to. Go to your piece of, I'm using white, it doesn't matter what color you use, you just want to make sure you have a flat edge. If you don't have a flat edge, just cut yourself one. So that's not flat. Now it's flat. Okay. So take your pattern, put it where you know you want you're going to make them both the same, so you might as well just, and you can do one sole for both one heel, one time for both heels, because all you got to do is flip it and you'll get the same thing. Okay, so once you have that, you're going to cut out two of these. Okay, it's easier to get it close if you just cut it like that. You know, you have to, when you're working with this and you don't have a Cricut machine or one of those cutters, whatever they are, just use, these are those cheap ones you get in a package. I just use it for the foam because it seems to cut good because it's got those serrated teeth on it. Okay, so I did these ones earlier, so here's a couple more. So we'll just cut it. If you don't have the 6mm, you can just do the same thing on the 2mm. Just build it up. Just keep gluing it on top of each other and build it up. Okay, so once you've got your two pieces, if they're not even, you can go ahead and smooth them out, get them as close as possible. Okay, so if they're not exact, you can smooth them out with the sandpaper or your scissors if you have to. It doesn't matter because they're going to be completely covered. Okay, so take your hot glue and make sure it's really hot, because you're going to want to, because this glue cools down really fast on this, on these foam boards. So make sure your glue's hot, and then just glue them together. Okay, and you want to make sure that you can use white glue on these too if you want, but it just takes longer to finish them up. Okay, don't put too much glue because you don't want too much space between them. You don't want to expand that size if you can't help it, because you want them both the same size. Okay, so now that you got that, you can take, I got a couple more sandpapers out. This one is 100, 150, and this is your 80. I used the 150 on the black, but you just want to smooth out the edges. Just put them down on the table and just run them through. Just smooth them down, get rid of any ridges. And the reason why you want to do that is because you're going to put that gold over it. You're going to cover it. So any big lumps or edges that's not going to lay smooth, you want to try and get rid of. Don't sand them down too far, or they won't be the same size. But just work with it. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want to get it as smooth as possible. Okay, so that's good enough. I got a little edge right there. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got that. That's one. I'm going to need two of those exactly the same. So once you have that, you're going to take whatever glitter you're using, and you're going to need your cutting board and your mat. Okay, so line that up, make your cut. And they're not lined. Okay, I don't need all that, so let's just take a piece of that. See, I went off. Okay, so you want to get one straight edge, so go ahead and you can use your scissors. Just cut a straight edge. Test it, make sure it works properly, it's the right size. So line that up against there and see if it covers your white foam completely, and it does. And while I was doing that, I could see I need to file that down just a little bit more there. And that's going to be our cover. So let me get the paper out here. Okay, I use a combination of both the hot glue and the white glue on these heels because I like it. Sometimes that hot glue, it doesn't stick as well as it should, and if I have the white glue underneath it, I know it's going to hold up just fine. So get yourself a little bit of white glue at the same time you're using the hot glue. Okay. So don't try to fit it now. We're going to fit it when we get to that edge. Let's just sand that down a little bit. I don't like that. Okay, so first place you're going to start with is on the back, and the first thing you're going to start with is a straight flat edge. So take your hot glue and put it on the tip about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, line that up, get it even. Okay, and that will seal you. You can use hot glue on the whole thing if you want to. I just like the white glue. It just, I don't know, personal preference, I guess. So I'm going to put my white glue on the vinyl, and I'm going to bring it around to the front. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'm going to add a little click of hot glue too, because you want to secure it. Okay, so we're just evening that up. You see how we're doing that? Evening it up. Okay, so I'm going to do a little hot glue here. Secure that and let it dry on its own. That white glue. Okay, that'll just hold it in place. If you get a little hot glue come out the edge, just cut it off. Okay, a little white glue. You can do either side. You can do the vinyl or you can do the foam. Either one will work. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. So let's not put any more of that on. Get to the edge. We're going to fold it over, and we're going to get that nice and smooth there. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to take our pencil and we are going to put a little pencil mark because we're going to line up that ending with this beginning. So we're going to put a little pencil mark here. Might have gone too far on the glue. And we're going to pencil mark on this side. Okay, test it before you cut it. Okay, so there's my 2 pencil marks. I'm going to cut on this side of the pencil mark and verify that they touch. If they don't, then don't worry if you got a little glue there. It's going to, because I went too far on the glue, it's going to dry clear, not a problem. Okay, so make sure it matches on both sides, and if you want to, you can finalize it with a little hot glue. Okay, we're not going to cut a circle out. We're going to spread this with glue, and we're going to cut it out after we let me cut this off. So go like this, cut a piece of your vinyl. Okay, so we're going to take white glue, and we're going to spread it all over the top of your, I think I have enough here. Spread it, no I don't. Spread it over the top of your heel. So the whole thing, cover the whole thing. Don't worry if it gets to the edge, it's not a problem because it's going to dry clear. Okay, so now we've got our piece. We're just going to set this on here like this. And we're going to push it down flat. And we're going to set this somewhere and let it dry for a little bit. Okay. If you try and cut it now, it's going to slip and slide all over the place. So just let it sit and dry. You can weigh it down if you want to with something. So let it sit, let it dry for a while, okay? Which is exactly what I did with this one right here. Okay, so we're going to, now that we've got that all done, we're going to take our scissors, whichever ones we have, and we're going to cut right along that edge. I do this with my magnifying glass so I can see what I'm doing. So you can get right up close and see what's going on. Because if you try to accomplish this before you add the edging, it's just impossible to get a completely smooth finish. So then I get my magnifying glass out and I get as close as possible to that edge without damaging the walls. Now I tried finding a felt pen that would match the gold color, and I don't have one. I know they make them, I just don't have one. So that's going to go on the bottom of your shoe right here. Okay, that's your bottom. So what I'm going to do now is cut out the front piece. So let me see if we've got our square somewhere. So now we're going to cut out this part that goes inside the boot. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take the same pattern that we had, only this time we're going to cut out the bigger pieces. Okay, the opposite side of the sole. So let's let me scoot this over a little bit. And oops. And then we'll cut this out. Okay, so you're going to cut out, you're going to need 4 for the whole thing. Alright, so once you cut that out, you can save these little pieces if you want to. So you're going to end up gluing 2 of these pieces together, just like that. You don't have to be neat on this because this is what's going to be inside the shoe itself. You're not even going to see it. This is going to be in here like this. You're never going to see it, so you don't even have to be neat about it. Okay, so take your 2 pieces and, well, you got to get it even. You got to get it in the right location, so you do have to be a little neat. Okay, so glue your 2 pieces together, just like that. Don't fuss. Just make sure they're stuck together. Okay, so take your cardboard, and I got one that's marked on, oh, it's marked on the other side too. Okay, perfect. Okay, so then you're just going to line that up, and you're going to take your lines, make a line here, make a line there, take a piece of cardboard or ruler, and that's where you're going to glue your foam. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we want to do that on the opposite side because we want cardboard on cardboard. So we'll just look through there and see where we want it, just like that. Okay, so little glue, glue it, make sure you hit those marks, and you did. Okay, so there we go. So that's one piece. So now you're going to take another cardboard and you're going to go on top of this one in the same location. So there's one here. You just want to make sure that's lined up. Put a little glue here. You can do it on here too. Either one, doesn't matter. Okay, so glue that. So here we go. So got that all glued down. Okay, so decide which ones you want on top and which one you want on the bottom. So of course you're not going to do them both the same because one's going to be your right and one's going to be your left. So if I have this one set as my left, I'm going to do this one. This is my flat side. So if it helps you, say this is your flat side, okay? So then you're going to want to just tip this one up a little bit. Just give it a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to glue this. All right, so you're going to bend it a little bit. You don't have to be perfect. You just want to put it just like that. If it helps you, you can take your heel and let your heel do the work for you. So just press it down on the table like this and the heel will actually do the job for you. Okay, so there's one. So there's one sole, and then we've got our second sole. Okay, so if it's in the right location where it's going to be when you actually make a shoe, that's what it's going to look like. So once you have that, you're going to put a little bit of dab of glue in here, and you're going to secure that to the top of the shoe, just like that. See how I did that? It's not going to be even. Don't make it even. If you make it even, it's not going to work. Okay? So do that and then do it with here. Okay? So now what you want to do is you want to create a little weight on these. So what I did is I kept some of my some of the pieces I kept. I'm just going to throw one in here. Cut it down and stuff it in this opening here and give it a little bit of stability. Same on the other side. I'm going to cut some of these off and use them just to fill in the, so it doesn't crush. You're just adding some weight to the shoe, just stabilizing it a little bit. Okay. Plus, by the time you glue the fabric around the bottom too, that's more stabilization right there too. So you're going to need some glue for this, so get some of your glue sticks ready. And then make sure you have your wet cloth so you can smooth out any glue that's on the edge. And just let that seal up. But you don't want to burn yourself. I think this is the last video I'm going to be able to do today. It's getting late. It take a long time. Okay, so there's that, and then this one on this side. So smooth out that hot glue. Get it so it's nice. You don't have to worry about this, like I said. You can add extra glue if you want to for weight, but you don't have to. I did it on the other ones, but it's really a waste. You don't need to do that. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we got to get our heel, and there's our right foot, and I don't know what happened to the other one. Here is our other foot, and that's how you make flat-footed heels. So now that you've got this going, you can put this on any shoe. You can make pumps. You can make, the only thing if you do this, you are going to end up with it being almost like a clog looking effect with the bigger front. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're not going to have this cone of the witches. You're going to get a bigger look on the shoe, but I think it'd be cute. I still think you could even do a boot, just a regular old boot, and then just take some kind of trim and go around here like you have a big big front, like, you know those wooden clogs, like, you know what I'm talking about? There's just so many things you can do with this technique. But anyway, that's the way to get the flat-footed with the heel.